What's up, everyone? It's Frank here with another best of 3 in the TavernsMug Stormgate tournament, and we've got a VVI, GameFriend versus MSRM. There's GameFriend, there's MSRM. Everyone can see the mini-map, so I'm not going to introduce the players by where they are. You can see where they are. You can see what color their name is. You can see where that color is on the mini-map. I'm not going to insult your intelligence. You know how this works. You know what left and right is. We're Storm gamers, all right? We're a cut above, all right? We're the white truffle oil of gamers. We are. Now you know what? Now I can feel myself getting going a little bit too far with some of these analogies. This is a serious game for serious people. Except for the Bobs. The Bobs have a smile on their face all the time. They're kind of silly. As well as the dog, quote-unquote dog, that drops a human skeleton when you kill it. Is it a person inside of a fursuit, and that's why there's a human skeleton that pops out? You be the judge. But I won't judge. Speaking of, dog takes a nibble out of the Hexen there, and the Hexen's going to take his green water balloons and get back onto the evil fog that is Shroud. We're going to see a ritual chamber coming up here, and the Moron Shrine. MSRM. Obviously, MSRM standing for Moron Shrine Reshapes Meta. So he's going to throw down his mandatory Moron Shrine. What are we going to see here? Another skull coming out. I'm not sure if I like this, to be honest. I'd prefer the skull to be used to generate fiends. There we go. But we've got Plague Axes coming up pretty soon, so it's not going to matter all that much. Yeah, look at this. See, this is why I like when people use the skull, not as, like, you can use it as a damage dealer, but look at all that information that he just got, because none of GameFriend's units can shoot up. Yeah. MSRM got to see that there's the BK Lab coming online, double mech bay, there's a Rax already being made. So far, looking good. Alright, Plague Axes are done. So no longer really well, it might matter if he loses this this Hexen, actually. It really depends. But if the double mech bays are any indication, it makes me think that it's not going to be Exo Ball, or that Exo Ball won't be the build. 5 Fiends are going to waddle on down to the Speech Camp. And they're going to let the radioactive blood just kind of wear off a little bit. They should let the radioactive blood wear off a little bit. Taking that bonus damage because they're low on armor is... Ooch, ow. Ooh, wow. That Shadow Mastiff's actually died off pretty quickly. I like it. They get the speed camp, and now these Fiends are going to go zoom across the map. Are they going to initiate the fight with the Shadow Demons? They shouldn't. I don't think they should anyway. Have the Hexen do it. Hexen's got all kinds of HP. There we go. But are we going to have another... No, we won't. Yeah, I would have just generated 1 Fiend anyway. I don't think that's worth the effigy. But this is like quite a bit of Fiends. I would almost say that, like, you select all the Fiends, you go to the third or something like that, and then force GameFriend to choose between, like, fighting the army that's DPSing down the production or fight the army that's gonna try to DPS down the third. Putting your opponent to a choice, I think, is the... Like, knowing how to put your opponent to a tough decision where it takes them time to decide about what to do next, I think is one of the... It sounds simple. It's like, oh, put your opponent at a decision. But that's a lot easier said than done. I don't know who just followed, but thank you so much for the follow. I'll catch up after the game. Okay, so we've got the Parade of Fiends here, and a whole bunch of hedgehogs. Are they gonna get caught by the Fiends? No, these Lancers are going to get great AoE hits, though, on all the Fiends, and these, the Gaunts with their Plague X's are going to make sure that absolutely everything stays infested. The Lancer goes down, and there's even enough... Oh, no, but the Vulcan's out, and the Vulcan's going to say, Gaunts, No more being on the front line for you. Hellborn makes its presence known. And these Gaunts continue to keep on just chipping away at damage here. I think they're fully upgraded at this point. Yeah, Reaper's Rush has finished. Skull pops on that Lancer, and it's going to get great vision of the 2 Vulcans, the 5 Hedgehogs, and a Medtech and a Health Camp. Love the Weaver that's out here doing percent max damage to the boss at the Therium camp. Medtech tries to gun down the skull with its Tony Stark palm lasers, but doesn't manage to do it. And yeah, we get more vision again. I really, really, really appreciate it when Infernal players don't just use the skull as free infest, but using it to actually scout is really cool. Oh. Alright, shields up goes down on the Vulcan. Lash on the further Vulcan goes down. Now you need to get that. Yeah, you need to get that Weaver back. Ay, ay, ay. What are you doing? What are you doing? No. No. Oh, I see what he's doing. He's dragging his opponent out of position. MSRM getting oh no. Getting crafty with it. Dragging GameFriend's units all back to the main. Are they going to reinforce? No, there's an attack going on here at the natural. This is what I was talking about. MSRM putting GameFriend in a position where he's got to decide, it's like, okay, do I defend the Bobs into my main, or do I take care of the army that's shown up on my doorstep? These Hellborn are getting pretty far forward, but the Vulcans are focusing down the heavily armored Hellborn, so they're not going to be doing that bonus damage. Come on, we see Nano Swarm on this Vulcan, but it gets taken out on the retreat. See an effigy getting dropped down on the high ground, so everything's going to be regenerating the regenerating white health. The Gaunts are stepping off of this. I think they need to stay stepping on it so they can continue to do so they can continue to get infest. I think everything was cleaned up in the main here, but this this natural has taken a schwacking. Yeah, the command post is down. See a lot more Hellborn out, and they're going to start ripping through these Vulcans. And yeah, once the mech phase and the BK lab go down, I think that might be it for GameFriend. We'll see if he can mount some kind of a defense. This yeah, the Repairmatic's actually going to be really good. Bob's trying to do their best to give heal hugs to the Vulcan, but they're actually getting in the way. No, Repairmatic, no! Au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, and arrivederci. Oh, beautiful stasis drones go down on these, on the Hellborn, but I think there's just too many of them. I think the Hellborn are just going to be, yeah, the stasis drones are going to time out before anything can actually, like, kill off the rest of the army here. Yeah, the Vulcans are all gone, the Hedgehogs are all gone. Well, there's a Hedgehog here. 2 Hedgehogs, excuse me, and a Lancer, but defensible? I'm not so sure. This lone fiend is definitely going to take out an airport all by itself. It's kind of like a dog trying to chew its way through a shrine. It's like, you know what? Maybe one day, bud. You'll get there. You'll get there. But yeah, the Gaunts have completely cleared out the natural of GameFriend here, and GameFriend's floating so much Luminite, but he's got no way to spend it. Yeah, and these Gaunts are staying on Shroud as well, making sure that all the Bobs, or any Bobs that try to come up and fight, are instantly turned into Fiends. And the Hellborn are slowly turning this high central command into rubble. This is all just going to go away here pretty soon. I love the solar habitats boosting the Bob production here, but oh no! Yeah, the Gaunts are going to focus down the Bobs, which are all going to turn into Fiends, which are then going to create more Fiends. It's the Fiend Snowball. And yeah, I think this is just GameFriend playing out the game to its very end, but losing the natural and the main, and getting reset back to tier 1. It's just going to be too much. GameFriend, GG's out. MSRM is going to go up 1-0 in this best of 3. Alright guys, here we are in game number 2 between GameFriend and MSRM, this time on Titan's Causeway. A couple overcharged Bobs building the natural here on the low ground for GameFriend. MSRM is going to come by with his Hexen, and his Hexen's going to say, Poison Sting! Poison Sting! Poison Sting! Poison Sting, but it's not effective against steel types. Turn around, Bright Eyes. Actually, not Bright Eyes, because the Hexen doesn't have eyes. It's just got this, like, little cartoonish, spiky teeth mouth. There we go. Where's the cabbage? Gotta get that cabbage. Oh, yeah, they know. They know. They know. Yeah, the cabbage is right. No. No! Gets it! And survives to tell the tale. Yeah, time to teleport back home. There's no universe where this ends well. Oh, it's just a reset. So we can continue playing this game. Water balloons versus guy in a dog costume nibbles. Alright, now you're gonna teleport home? Or are you gonna keep on up with the sass there, with the attitude? Alright, Hexen, with its glowy, you know, music festival stick, gonna come by and try to cause more problems, I guess. I don't know what problems it could possibly cause. If it's just regenerating more energy here, and it's not spending it on the health camp, or on either of the camps, honestly. Plague X is coming up. Moron Shrine, as is expected for one of MSRM's fame, stature, and prestige. He's got the Moron Shrine. He's making the most of it, too. 7 workers already on the Moron Shrine. And, yeah, the Natural's still coming up, which is all good. Oh, alright, we're starting to go up to Tier 2. Here's MSRM. Super fast Tier 2, by the way. And I love that little effect where the Thanos dust comes down and, like, you see the spiky flower come out. I don't know, something about it is very cool. I hope they keep those. A couple of skulls pop out, and they get a sieged up hedgehog and a lancer. But I think that's just not going to cut the mustard, as my 3rd grade math teacher used to say. I don't remember his name, but I remember the last day of the school year, he wore a wooden tie to school, and he was the man. He wasn't the nicest guy on earth, but you better believe I remember Pythagorean theorem because of him. Alright, every single one of those slimes gets turned into a fiend. The health camp comes up, and I think MSRM is ready to start ripping and tearing through these, through the rest of these camps. And yeah, it looks like GameFriend hasn't touched any of them just yet, which is just fine for MSRM. I think he wants to get a little bit more established out on the map. And honestly, I think there's a bit of a hidden benefit. Not hidden, really, but the fact that you get notified by the voice when your opponent steps on one of your camps. You don't necessarily need to be keeping that close of an eye on the minimap to know when your opponent steps on one of your camps, but it's nice that it lets you know. It's like camp, like capture point contested or something like that. It's very nice. Saving the fiends is cool. I almost want the fiends to like hang out right in this area, so that way once they do properly get stuck into a fight, that the fiends can come over and start just causing chaos amongst these bobs. By the way, these Bobathers are coming to build a 3rd. Okay. And MSRM, I don't know, pausing a little bit, maybe taking time. I think this isn't enough gaunts to effectively take out. Oh. Does manage to get one of the hedgehogs with the Nightfall Infestation. So many of these gaunts are getting great connection. 2 hedgehogs go down. And, oh, and the Lancer gets stuck behind all the fiends. Ay, caramba. Muy damage. Alright, the Vulcan does land a good hit. Does land a good charge against that one Gaunt. Oh no, and his shield's up is going to go down on this Vulcan. It's going to do so much damage against all these lightly armored units. Another Bob gets turned into a fiend. Alright, and then they just turn 360 degrees and moonwalk out the door. I've got a question in chat. Is this the Dirty Hands build? I'm not sure what that is. I think the Dirty Hands build is something that that most of the employees at movie theaters play before they handle all of your popcorn. So I recommend eating before you get to a movie theater. That, and honestly, it's just overpriced. Corn is like the cheapest grain. One of the cheapest grains that you can buy. Just make your own popcorn at home. Eat popcorn before you get to the movie theater. Drink a bunch of water so you don't miss any, and then use the bathroom before you watch the movie, and then don't worry about getting the snacks, because the snacks are like $6 for a bag of M&Ms. Get out of here. Alright, enough getting sidetracked. Frank, you've gotten too sidetracked in these last couple of series. Get with the program. Get with the program where Fiend is going to take out this poor little defenseless Bob. Ooh, I like this. I actually really like the MSRM using the skulls to great effect to make sure that you can scout when... Just touch it. The Bobs are going to repair it back to full if you don't just knock it over. Ay. There we go. Gets the cabbage. I guess the Bobs staying busy repairing the command post is better than them mining if you're the Infernal player. But what we got coming up here for... We don't see an upgrade coming up online here yet. We do see a couple of Hellborn, though, going for the Scrapyard. The Scrapyard goes down, but it's not that big of a loss. It's pretty inexpensive, honestly. Oh, and the Gaunts are going to jump on top of this Vulcan. And then there's another Vulcan over here supporting, but I think these... I wouldn't mind the Gaunts just staying inside of the health regen. Another Shields Up goes down on this Vulcan. And the effigy goes down, and the Infernals are going to get chased back. Oh no, the Vulcan does a great dash against the against this Hellborn, which I guess rallied. What? Why? Stasis drone Hellborn over here is going to be caught kind of by itself. I love the Repairmatic usage, by the way. Repairmatic, best unit in the game. Alright, and this is, yeah, MSRM increasing his Therium intake, rather. And if there's one thing that's a little bit spooky, it's an Infernal player with so many resources. How many shrines is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shrines for MSRM. I guess he had a lot of Illuminite to get through, but spend it he did. Look at all these workers that just aren't doing anything. All these imps that are just straight chilling. Every single one of these slimes is going to get turned into a fiend, which is super duper. Meanwhile, back over on GameFriend's side of the map, not a whole lot going on. I think not contesting those creep camps and not compensating for only having 3 bases by going out and getting the resources from the creeps is long term going to hurt GameFriend in this matchup. Also, having a lot of things that can't shoot air is going to be a little concerning, especially if MSRM sees it's like, oh, it's just Mass Vulcan. He's just going to spawn like an entire swarm of Spriggans and be like, okay, well, here's the response to that. I guess this can... Yeah, targets... The Phase Disruptor does 10 damage and targets air and ground. It's not that scary. Do we have stun stomps out for the Magmadon? We don't. It's just normal stomps. Just the stomps that do damage. Did that Felhug get the kill on the Vulcan? Hero Felhug. Alright, finally this command post is going to go down. So many Hellborn over here, and I think GameFriend is just being picked apart here. Gaunt drop in the main. So many Hellborn and Gaunts coming over to the natural. The third was picked off, and it wasn't long for this world. And MSRM's up by 90 supply more. The production's going to get camped here pretty soon, and it's yeah, it's just a matter of time. It's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when. A lot of Vulcans. Oh, and a bunch of these Hellborn getting disabled as well. And the Weaver getting disabled. Man, these Sentinels are actually putting in work. They do all retreat though, and it's just one Vulcan. That's 2 Vulcans left. One with the shields up on it. That one gets taken out. Another Vulcan's gonna get taken out. I think there's just way too much Infernal here. Really cool defense though, GameFriend. I think you did a really good job. GameFriend, GG's out. MSRM's gonna take the series 2-0. GG's guys. Thanks for the game.